the front row. Um, I'm from Sustainable Futures, working with the city of Boise, hopefully to solve some of those glass problems. My focus of what I want to talk about today is kind of bringing home all the concepts we've talked about so far. I get the luxury of following everybody who already did all the heavy lifting on the technical issues and the policy issues, and I just get to talk about some of the dreamy stuff. So I want to talk about a vision of home. So home is a word that evokes visions of comfort. The requirements start out to be simple, but we're always looking for something. And in that search, we find ourselves looking for more. And you'll want to keep it cool, so that's going to use more energy. And you got to take care of it, and you want it updated, and everybody wants it too. So that gets you more development. And you have to drive to get there, so we have more of a commute. And it turns out in the United States there are 765 cars for every 1,000 people, but there are only 700 drivers for every 1,000 people. You want some lawn to go with that nice house. You got to take care of it and water it. And we're all competing for the same water, and there's less and less of it available. When you start putting it all together, you got to realize you got to stay ahead of the weeds too, and that gets us more legs. There's some really alarming anomalies that we're seeing from pesticide and herbicide runoff. It's just not working for us. And it's taking more time and more money, and we're not getting any happier. And we're not leaving things set up very well for our next generation. Maybe the answer is to rethink the whole equation. So consider the tree. It works with the seasons. It's adapted to place and time. It gathers its own fuel. It makes its own food. It improves the surroundings, and it never leaves anything behind that doesn't feed a neighbor. It provides beauty, contributes to a community, cultivates habitat, but can stand alone. So think about a home that, instead of using energy, harvested light, that had the capacity to transfer useful light without the need of burning ancient sunlight in the form of coal. Designed to fit any aesthetic and responsive to your needs, using simple technologies like occupancy sensors. And with a little awareness of location and orientation, sunlight becomes free light and free warmth. And with an understanding of place and orientation and cycles and patterns, this can all come together in an elegant way. A structure that works with the site and with the inhabitants, all with the technology and expertise that's available now. So think about a tree and energy. Each tree has a series of energy collectors designed for the intensity and duration and quality of light. They each act independently, but taken together, they support the entire organism. So instead of fighting solar gain, it works with the days, harvesting the electricity or warmth or both, and selling it back to the grid when you're not home, and heating your water for that shower after work. Which brings us to water. It's a vanishing resource. Clean drinking water is not available to most people in the world, but in the Western world, we use it to flush our toilets. But we have the capability to conserve and reuse this precious resource, recycling and refreshing the gray water from our sinks and dishwashers, reusing and recirculating perfectly usable water as part of the organism. There's enough rainfall, even in the arid West, to significantly supplement or replace municipal water from most household uses, or the landscaping. One of the main functions, or landscaping. One of the main functions of our homes is shelter and protection from the elements. With some wise choices and a cost view toward life cycle cost rather than upfront cost, We can create homes that provide a physical barrier, a thermal barrier, an acoustic barrier, but a living and breathing envelope that interacts with the environment. And with what we save, we can start putting that excess light, water, and resource to grow the treasure of fruit. And the lawn becomes a garden that's soothing and delighting to the senses, giving back a lovely reward. And another layer of security. A place where the gardens fit the climate and the place with xeric and native plants so that you can put down some roots in an intentional community or just with your own family, bringing it all back into balance, where the lines between home and garden are blurred and the edges between earth and home are smudged, where you have spaces made for living and growing and gathering, where enough starts to make sense, where you can find, once again, that sense of self-sufficiency, that sense of security, a sense of beauty, that sense of place, of abundance, of wonder, and that sense of hope. After all, it is home. So with that, we'd like to wrap up our presentation, invite you to stay around and ask questions if you have any.